Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Purposeful Mindset Podcast. I'm honestly so grateful that you're subscribed to my podcast, and I'm excited to share yet another episode with you. This podcast is all about bringing servant leaders to share their stories and life experiences with you all in the hopes to help more people to find their true purpose and meaning to life. Today, I have such a powerful guest with so much energy. I cannot wait for you all to listen to this episode. His name is Travis Huff, and he is the founder of real-time outsourced social media management firm, which started in 2009, and he has grown ever since with clients from Hawaii to Florida. He was a board member of the Fresno Advertising Federation for 8 years before moving on to focusing full-time on real-time outsource. In a mere 7 years, he has helped hundreds of clients from North America and overseas grow their brand and discover new avenues to increase customer engagement. Travis often says, "I love being real with people to help them realize their true power and give them the passion to make a change in their lives and businesses." In this episode, Travis shares a lot of his awesome passion and energy around mindset and taking action, as well as making us all understand how important gratitude is, because most people don't focus on what they do have and they focus too much on what they don't. So without further ado, let's get straight into this episode. Hey, Travis, thank you for being on the Purposeful Mindset Podcast. I honestly am super pumped. I feel like this episode is going to be full of energy, craziness, vibes. It's going to be all about social media. I feel like there's going to be a lot that the listeners are going to get value from this. But can I start by getting you to introduce yourself to my listeners, and we're going to get straight into it. I'm honestly pumped, man. I'm ready to listen.
Let's do this. Yeah, my name is Travis, Too Tall and Huff, folks. I say Too Tall because that was my music name, but it's also kind of stuck with me. I'm 6'8", so something to brand yourself, in this world of a lot of things. And Too Tall is just a great one for people to remember. Hey, you're too tall. You're too tall. So I was like, perfect way to transition. I am a social media management agency business owner. So our team actually works with a lot of different businesses and brands, specifically also, my man, in advertising agencies. So we work with a lot of advertising agencies, PR firms, direct digital marketing firms. And so what we do with them is a white label, where they basically we're becoming part of their team. They're able to take our contract or our services and mark them up. And that has been the real way that we've scaled our business, folks. We're out in a little place called Fresno, California. Not a place many people want to come to be transparent, unless they're going to the beautiful Yosemite, which is about 30, 40 minutes away. Outside of that, it's a huge ag town, a lot of farming, not necessarily something you think of technology, startups, et cetera. But we're starting to actually get that buzz going, folks, because as you know, prices in LA, San Diego, San Francisco are so high that people are looking for places like Fresno where they can build their startup cheaply, efficiently, with rent and things like that, as well as we have a great college here. So my story is that, I've always had a lot of challenges in my life, my man. I've gone through 3 major challenges. The first one was my body. When I was in high school and middle school, I was probably emotionally eating. My parents went through a divorce. My brother was on the verge of passing away. My mom was saving his life, having to go to Stanford. And we got used to fast food and eating that and the convenience of that. And it piles up, just like anyone knows. It just becomes part of your lifestyle. So my biggest challenge, first off, folks, was my body. Number one. And I'm sure a lot of people maybe that are listening today have that same challenge. And I want you to know something. Hey, it's life. But just remember this. You can make a change. If you're not happy where you're at, if you're, the doctor's saying, shit, I got to lose some weight, you can make that change. So my first change was my body. That meant cutting out the fast food, cutting out the soda, snacks, all that bullshit, and starting to get some exercise. Because the algorithm or the routine is really this simple, folks. Mm-hmm. How much food are you putting in your mouth? And then how much exercise are you doing to burn that off? If you are putting in more calories than you're burning off, you are going to gain weight. That's the bottom line. So looking at me today, I'm 6'8", 258 pounds, sometimes a little lower depending on the day. But the point is, I've changed my body, and that has changed my mindset. So that's the first challenge I had. The second challenge was I had gotten out of college, got a great opportunity to work for the Disney company. One of the best opportunities I ever got, my man, was to work for ABC Television selling broadcasts, selling Oprah and Dancing with the Stars and your favorite shows, working with clients that are small and also working with clients that are big as McDonald's. And so I got a real taste of the advertising industry straight out of college. I loved it, had a great run at it, but I was also in that business during the heyday, meaning 2005 to 2009 was before Hulu, Netflix, and all these things now. Now we have Disney Plus and all these things. So you could see the move to digital when I wasn't able to tell my commercial clients, hey, this is how many people actually saw your commercial, and this is how many people skipped ads, and this and that. Where on digital, I could show them that. So I kind of always had my heart resonance into digital. I love the fact that you can show the results. So folks, I'm sitting at a Starbucks November 2008 with a buddy, Jason. We had just been getting out of college. We're now 3.5, maybe 4 years out of college now. And he says to me, hey, Travis, people are going to need their Facebook pages managed. And it was like, boom. That was my idea, folks. That was my money line. That was my ticket. I took that. I put a PowerPoint together. I put a crappy logo together. And I started talking to customers. I started going out and reaching out to customers and saying, hey, this is what I'd love to do for you. I'd love to manage your content, promote it. There wasn't really the advertising features at that time, but it was just putting content out and then engaging when people are commenting back, et cetera. Pretty much the same thing now. Now there's a little bit more things you can do. But folks, I'm a believer in this. Your best ideas happen when you're just listening. When you're just listening to the universe, you're just listening to your friends, you're listening to your customers. It's not always your light bulb that pops up. It's that you acted. Think about Zuckerberg. A lot of people have seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
The Winklevoss twins gave him the idea. Let's just be real. He executed, paid them $60 million later on. Now those guys are fine because they got into crypto and this and that. But the point is, it's all about execution. So they always say ideas are like assholes. There's just so many out there. The point is, it's just that you execute. And so you don't have to have the perfect model. You don't have to have the best PowerPoint. The key thing I always say is getting that first check or PayPal or Venmo or wherever you're getting paid, because that validates everything. When you can get one customer to believe in you, to give you the check, then you can do what's called reinvestment, folks. You can take the money and say, hey, shit, I'm going to pay myself, or I'm going to take this and build a little better website, or I'm going to, get a contractor to better make my logo look a little bit better, So the point is, I'm a huge believer in bootstrapping, get the check, keep the process going. It keeps you lean and mean. And at the end of the day, you won't know if you have a successful business or not, folks, until you get a check. Like if you haven't gotten a check, you're not going to have a big business. You're not going to have probably a business at all because it's a hobby. If you do something and you don't get paid for it, it's called hobby. And so just remember that. I mean, it's very important. I think a lot of people don't forget these things, So then my journey is this, man. My second challenge was that I went through the craziest time. I got married too young. I bought a house overpriced. I decided to start a business in a recession. I ended up getting a divorce the same year, in the same year that all this stuff happened. And the same year my house closed and everything, we ended up in an amicable, situation. We both realized, hey, we're too young, or our families aren't vibing, things are just not meshing, and we had to pivot. And it was the best thing that ever happened. But I also went through hell because I had my finances crushed. I was in a dark place. I'm like, damn, I thought I want the white picket fences. Now this $300,000 house is worth $150,000. And I went through a lot, man. And I truly believe that was one of my biggest challenges. Was I was looking at myself in the mirror every day and telling myself, okay, what are you going to do to get out of this? Like, what do you need to do? Because a lot of times people think it's on someone else, and it's not. It is on you.
Yeah.
So that is kind of the story in a nutshell, and we can kind of branch off from there. But on an ongoing basis now, folks, I got my own podcast, the Be Real Show. I got my business, Real Time Outsource, as well as we've even got a separate business called Real Time Reputation, which helps people with the actual management of reviews and things like that. And it's been a fun process, man. I mean, the journey is not always easy, as we can talk about. But the truth is that you have to wake up every day and reframe your mindset, especially if you're going through a tough time. Especially if you're going through those down days.
Yeah, man, I love it. One of the biggest thing I just took away from what you just shared was this one word called execution.
Absolutely.
It's one thing I talk about every single day in my content. Is just take action, be consistent. Yes. Like just before we rolled camera, right? You asked me how long have I been doing the podcast. I said this week is my 34th week. Yeah. And I was consistent because I just believe in myself so much. I knew that I want to build my network. I knew that I need good people I need positive energy around me. I need people that I can be of service to.
Right.
And I just wanted to help. I'm just that type of person where I don't care who it is in my life, who I bump into, where I go, who I meet. I just love to help people. It just gives me a rush, man. It just makes me happy, so fulfilled. Like if I can just do one small thing to like open the door for someone or like do something kind.
Awesome.
Because I believe everything in life just stems off kindness, right? Like if you're just kind and you're a good person and you're not doing anything wrong, but you believe in yourself and you build your confidence, then you just start attracting amazing things into your life, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I haven't done DMT or anything like that, but people that do these things now, there's a lot of influencers, Peter Diamandis, Joe Rogan, and the list goes down. They experience stuff with acid and DMT and psychedelics and things like that. And when they'll say, all will tell you, almost all the experiences I ever heard is life is about love. And that's it. Like, it's that simple. Love what you're doing. Love the people you're around. Spread love, share love, love others like you would love yourself. The world has not very many people thinking this way. Yeah, you'd be surprised, folks. I mean, even in our own lives, how many times do you love on someone else? And how many times are you really loving the neighbor next to you or the person you see at the grocery store? And we don't know why we're here on earth. You know, this moment in time is a blessing. It is a opportunity that our parents gave birth to us, and we didn't really have a choice. It's like, here you are. Let's go. Let's do this. So the whole thing is the more you can love yourself, love other people, spend, like you said, time cherishing the moments you have, because we just don't know how long we have. And I think that's a really good point for people to remember, is that, hey, you can hustle hard, you can do all these things, but if you aren't a kind person, I don't know. Yeah. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to you at the end. And I don't know. We really don't know. And so you can have faith, you can believe in the universe, you can believe in whatever. But the truth is, we didn't have a choice. Like, we were just given life, but it was from our parents, but it wasn't really our choices. It wasn't like you woke up and said, I'm going to be born today. And also the ongoing thing is, we don't know why we're here. Like, there's no real fully answers, and no one's going to know until maybe you pass. And then at that point, obviously, we might find out more. You don't know. Do we get just buried in a box? Does our souls go and reincarnate as a cat? Are we put into another life? Is our souls now in the universe? Have faith for all these things. I truly do. But the truth is, folks, is if you don't live that way, your time's going to come up, and then all of a sudden you're going to be bye. And I think about that all the time, because right now we're going through the grieving of Kobe, and shit hit me hard, man, because I wasn't hugely a Lakers fan, but I just loved his work ethic. And then I really loved what he did after. And I had been really consuming a lot of his videos and interviews, and then I remember the day that, he passed away. One of our guests said Dr. Sam Bakhtiar would say, that day was like 9/11 and stuff for a lot of us, in that we remember where we were. And there's a lot of people that have died since then or passed. And like, I didn't remember exactly where I was, exactly what I was doing, the feeling I had. And then now being a girl dad, obviously, as you know, with the movement, it's made dads want to step up, spend more time with their kids, be quality, be present. And so, just these moments are fleeting, and so just remember that when you get through the day to day and you're frustrated and you got something tough going on, just remember that these moments are fleeting. And I would say, take that mama mentality, put in the work, because if you don't put in the work, someone else is going to put in the work.
100%. So Travis, I want to ask you, like, for someone listening right now, right? If they, let's say they struggle to find gratitude, let's say they don't have a routine, or they don't know like how to, what do they actually physically need to do every day to have or to find that gratitude? What can someone take action on right now after listening to this, where they can actually start focusing more in their life on gratitude?
Absolutely. I'll tell you one right now, folks. If you can flush a toilet, drink a glass of water, you should be grateful, because a big part of the world can't do that. They can't flush a toilet and the poop be gone, or the pee be gone, and let's just be real. I mean, and they can't drink fresh water. And so if you can do those two things, are the first. If you can get beyond that and go, shit, I got a podcast, I can get on the internet, I got a smartphone, I can watch videos, I can work in a business. And so I think the biggest thing is, for one, too, is that you got to release the negative energy. So I got something, folks, that I can work you through right now. This is something that works really great at night or any part in your day when you're having a tough point. what you got to do is this. You got to do, this is going to guarantee to work. First is you say, with God and the universe's help, because I don't know exactly what everyone believes, but I kind of believe in a universal God, not just one that's the Christian or Muslim or, Buddhist or whatever. I believe in a universal, right? So with God and the universe's help, I'm now releasing all fear, negative energy, stress, anything you're feeling is negative. And say that 5 times to yourself. With God and the universe's help, I'm releasing all stress. It doesn't have to be the same things. You could keep repeating these things. And then the most important thing, folks, is, and just remember this, it's like a drain plug being pulled out and all this shit is just draining away out of your life, is that I am now, you have to say this, the releasing part first, and then you have to say, I am now free of all stress, all fear, all worry. Folks, this works really well at night. And if you're going to do it with your spouse while they're sleeping. They'd be surprised how much they will appreciate it too, because you're helping them go through this and release it. It'll help you sleep. It helps you wake up, feeling a little bit more fresh. And at the end of the day, folks, if you're having a tough day, you're going through some shit, you're not every day is the greatest. These are just great ways of releasing it. And it's all on you, because we put these pressures on ourselves and we feel these pressures on ourselves, and we can also release these pressures on ourselves. And when you are free of all fear, all stress, all worry, all negative feelings, and you're really free from that, life is good. Like feels good. It just feels good. And it's all on you, because we are in control of our happiness. No one can make us happy, nor can we make anyone else happy. And so when we are releasing all this negative shit that we got on our plate, a bad client, whatever, someone cut you off on the road, etc., we're just releasing this stuff. And so when you release it all, you have nothing but gratitude. You have nothing but positive energy. And if you have to do it multiple times a day, do it multiple times a day. But the key one is, I would say, at night, because at night, they say, is when our body's flushing out our toxins. It's a different period of time where we don't know all the mystery of sleep, but we're essentially, put into a coma almost, if you want to call it that, for 6 to 8 hours. And our body's doing magic at that point. So I feel like if you could do it at any point, do it before sleep, because that way your body feels good. You feel relaxed. And I honestly did it after one of my guests, Garen Jones, started talking to me about it and telling me his story. And shit, it works, man. It really freaking works.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the main reason why it works is because during the whole day, as you said, Travis, like, we are super busy, we're active, we're doing something, we're hustling, we're working in our jobs, we're going to the business, we're running a business, we're doing speaking, we're personal growth, we're watching videos, we're constantly consumed by social media and radiation from the screens that we are constantly around it all day. So I think the end of the day, as you said, is the best time to do it, because that's when our body's almost like just full of all this negative energy and negative kind of source from all around us during the day, where that's the time. I love the analogy you just gave of just like the drain pipe opening up and everything going down. Like, so powerful. I love that.
Yeah, just close your eyes and just feel all that shit leaving your body, because it's all in your head. And so when you start telling yourself that and you get into the routine, it really does feel like it's leaving you. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. I mean, from someone that is still very positive about life, and I look at the life very positive, it's still helpful. I mean, these things, no one is going to have the best day every day. I mean, shit, right now, the last 2 days, the stock market's getting slammed. So it's a good time to buy. But if you've been invested, you're getting killed. I mean, you're freaking getting killed. And so the point is, we can't control these things. My dad always tell me the stock market will inflict the most pain on the most people. Like, it's a guaranteed quote. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't still go up. But in these moments, in these last 2 days, it feels like, holy shit, this thing's going to be going to zero, because it's had a down day of 1,000 yesterday. Today, 500 down. Now, I said it's a great day to buy. It's a great day to buy on these down days. But the point is that you can get in your head and start thinking negatively. Really, oh shit, my investments, my retirement, and just realize, folks, these things don't last forever. Anytime you feel negative, it doesn't going to last forever and ever and ever. And there's going to be an up day. There's going to be a back day. But the point is, like I always say with investing, make sure that you, think long term. Don't think short term on anything you do. And life is an investment. Mm-hmm. Whatever you're doing today is going to be something that pays off in 5, 10, 20 1 year, 6 months from now. it's a ball that's rolling. And the more you spend time today taking these little actions, the better you are in 6 months.
I love that. And I think also, Travis, I don't think it's just in investments. I think it's just everything we do in life, we have to think long term. I tell you why I say that, because in my kind of 6 years of like this personal growth journey, for me being super shy over 6 years ago, couldn't speak to women, had 8 friends, played Call of Duty, went to work, came back home, did the same thing all over again. And that was my life. And now, after having the mindset of super confident, being like on stages, inspiring people, having my own little events, and really like getting out of my head and into doing, it just made me realize like everything I do today, it makes me happy. I no longer give a shit about anyone around me. I no longer care what other people around me are doing or thinking or say about me or judge me in whatever way. I'm just like super focused on what I'm doing, and I'm thinking long term. I never think. I always tell people like I live by my calendar because like when Kobe passed and when so many other people close to me in my life passed, that's when it just really hits you and it makes you realize, man, life is way too short. I'm 27. Like most people see me as a young guy, like really like doing big things in my life. I'm like, I haven't even started. Like I'm a baby compared to the people I'm learning and I'm surrounding myself with. I'm like a baby to them.
Right.
But it's all in the mind, like you said.
It's all in the mind. Yeah. I mean, you have to, my wife will always say, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. Yeah. You have to cheerlead for yourself because you can't expect others are going to cheerlead for you. They're not going to pick up the pom-poms and cheerlead. Yeah, your wife might one day, your dad might the other day, but the other 30 days he doesn't. So you have to pick those things up and not expect that anyone is going to. And same thing in life, I mean, shit, I always say this, just do you. It sounds selfish. It sounds selfish, but I remember this, folks. The more you do you, the more you can do for others. The more that you're working on yourself, the more that you're putting in work on your business, your podcast, your body, your whatever, the better you're going to be in every other aspect of your life. And so a lot of the big problem that people have is they avoid working on themselves to help others. So they're always being the best friend. They're always hanging out with this person. They're always doing this hobby or running here, running there. Like I said, folks, that's great. There's nothing wrong with helping others. But if that's all you're doing, if that is all you're doing is helping others, you're not spending any time on yourself. You're not spending 1 second on your own. And the hard part is a lot of people, it's much easier to help others than to help yourself. Exactly. It's much easier to go freaking help a buddy and figure out his shit than figure out your own shit. And so just remember this, folks, just do you. Whatever it is, I tell people this all the time. Anything you want to do, anything, you can do it. So any language you want to learn how to code, you want to learn how to invest, anything you want to do, you can do. Now just do this first. Spend 1 hour per week doing it. So if it's learning about investing, if it's learning about, startups, stocks, crypto, whatever, peer loans, spend time learning, spend time researching. The problem people have right now is everyone wants it fast.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the fast course. I'm going to get these, I'm going to join this mastermind. I'm going to join this group, this course. And 1 hour later, I'm going to be flipping properties and making millions. It doesn't happen. And so they might tell you that it can happen and you might be lucky and it could happen to you lucky. Just like you could buy a lottery ticket today or put a dollar in a slot machine and pull it and you could win. But the most likely thing that's going to happen is you're going to lose. Like when you buy a scratcher, buy lottery tickets, or buy anything. And I like to do a little gambling here and there as entertainment, just for fun. The money you're putting in is going to lose. And if you win, okay, great. But don't think of that your whole life.
Yeah, don't get addicted, right?
Don't get addicted to it. Yeah, don't get addicted. Don't think that fucking tomorrow you're going to be winning the lottery. Like, do it within your boundaries. But the point is, do this for 1 week. 1 week, try it 1 hour. Do it again, 1 hour each week. And after 52 weeks, folks, after 1 year, you will become somewhat of an expert in that industry, whatever it is. I mean, just learning, researching, watching YouTube videos, getting as much free stuff as you can on google.com and youtube.com. There's tons of people on social media to follow and learn from their insights that they're giving you. But I think most importantly, the thing is that people are afraid to put in that work. They're afraid to spend the hours. They're afraid to continually work. Not saying you're going to know it all, folks, after that year. Like you're just getting started. but you will be much more of an expert at that. And it's scalable and doable, meaning that everyone has 1 hour a week. I mean, everyone. You can't tell me anyone on this show that doesn't have a freaking hour a week to cut out of bullshit doing something else, spend time browsing the feeds, watching Netflix, et cetera, to spend on this. And this is a hobby, folks. This is just going to be a hobby, but it could turn into money. I mean, you go, my show, it can continually keep going, and all of a sudden it can turn into money. People want to be on the show. People want to promote their products. People want to, be connected to you in business. So the thing is, you have to just think long term, like you said, is that you can't just think, okay, I'm going to do it for 1 week and then I'm going to give up and learn something next week. Because I think that's the problem people are doing. They switch from this thing to switch to that thing, to switch to this thing, to switch to that thing. They buy this course, and this course, and they never execute on anything. They never do a damn thing. And so, hey, it's great to take knowledge in, man. There's nothing wrong with it. But I say, if you're paying for it, you better be using it. Like, you better be fucking using this, because we live in a world full of free education. I mean, there's so many awesome YouTube videos about investing and about how to save money and how to build businesses and how to podcast. And all you got to type in, folks, is how to, and then whatever you want to do. How to speak Spanish, how to code. And the internet's going to guide you. The path is going to happen for you. Now, I will say this. You don't want to just get stuck to one person. You want to listen to a few different minds, but each week you listen to a different podcast or you listen to a different interview. And I'm learning and trying to learn about real estate right now because, hey, we've all heard it. Real estate's going to make you rich. And over time, it's a long-term great play. I own my own real estate in my house, but I don't own any other real estate. And I've just been thinking, okay, I want to learn about this. So folks, I spend a little bit of time each week learning, listening, taking my insights. Right now, I feel like the market's kind of high. So I'm hoping that, things kind of slow down and we get a little slow back. And then maybe maybe it's time for me to actually take it. My strategy is to maybe get one, I heard this recently, buy one new building or unit or apartments or, one unit, just one every year for 15 years. And you put them on a 15-year loan. Now imagine this, you're 28. Imagine you started this at 29. Okay. Well, by the time you're 40, every year from the time that you hit that first property, getting paid off, you'll start getting 15 properties. Each year, a new property gets paid off every single year. This is a great strategy, and it's probably hard to do. Yeah. But I was like, dude, that's crazy, because at year 15, you're going to have a windfall. Like it's going to hit you hard. Like you might've been grinding to get everything paid off. But at year 15, when that first property is paid off and then you start getting the full rents back, all the rents going back just straight to your bank account and you're not paying any mortgages, dude, that is insane. And there's people that will tell you a million different things, so I'm telling you my own thing I'm learning, if you want to call it, along with other things, is because I love investing, but I'm learning about real estate. I'm not just running out the freaking window with my cash and saying, oh, please take this cash, let me go find a deal and buy something. I'm a huge believer of learning about this stuff, first, before you just start running into it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think before we do anything as well in our life, we can't become the expert, as you said, if we haven't learned about it, right? Or not just learn about it. Today, I put out a post talking about how we can consume as much information. We can consume all the videos. We can watch all the YouTube videos. We can consume all the courses. But if we do not take action on anything that we are learning, and the knowledge might be amazing, like we truly could be the best course, the best person, the expert in the field that you want to learn from, but it doesn't matter. You can learn everything you want about the gym. If you don't go there and you don't do the reps, you're not going to get a six-pack. You're not going to build your arms. Nothing's going to happen, right? So it's like I always just focus and try my best on the podcast, on my content, in my videos, just to get across this one message that truly has changed my life, which is just take action every single day, one step. It could just be one step every day, man. And this is what people need to understand.
Yeah, just one step. Like he said, it's just taking one action and it builds. You start to realize how much you can actually do. Like my wife sometimes comes home from work and she's a psychologist. So she's a doctor. She's kicking ass, she's making a lot of money for herself. She's a boss, she's a powerful woman in her own right. Now she doesn't own a business, right? So when she comes home and sees me and she's like, oh my God, how the hell do you get all this stuff done? Because I take care of my daughter. I watch her every morning, 6 to 9, every morning. She does take her nap at 9. Then we have sitters come. Like she has a sitter right now where I get to bust out work. And then I also will walk on my walking treadmill over here. That's over here to the right. And get some work done, stay active, get work done. And then, when she goes down for her next nap, I'm working. So I usually have about a 6-hour window of really getting quality work done. Okay. But folks, I can get my work done in 1 hour. Like my business's work for real time, my business, I call it my power hour. I can get everything done in 1 freaking hour. Now, this is a very, very important thing to remember. It's an indistractable hour. I'm reading the book Indistractable. So it's an hour that you just cannot let anything in your mind. The only thing I try to put on is a binaural beats. If you guys are familiar with that, it's more of like concentration and mindfulness. You listen to that, you put it on your headphones. It's very important to have headphones on with the binaural beats because it requires you to kind of have them in both ears. Now, you can still listen to them like through a speaker and stuff, but dude, you talk about insane focus. Like my wife was one that turned me on to binaural beats, and it like just puts your game high, right? So when I started the business 10 years ago, you start grinding now, now it's like insane what I can get done every day. Like I have my power hour. I got hours with like guys like you where I get to talk and tell my story. I just did my own podcast this morning. You just can get a whole lot more done than you realize. Yeah. But the thing is, telling yourself back that 10 years ago, it would be hard to tell myself I can get all these things done. Be a papa, handle all this quality time with my daughter, still handle my business, still work on my investments, still work on my podcast, still try to be the best friend, husband, etc. I love my cat, just try to be the best you can, right? So the truth is, in the end of the day, there's no right or wrong answer. But like you said, take action. Don't just sit here on all this knowledge. Start to focus it. Start to spend time on the action and the doing, because the doing is much more important. It's so important. So we learn everything from doing. I remember going into the gym for the first time as a 300-pound, 6-foot-tall guy, and I was a bigger guy. I wasn't obese, but I mean, shit, I probably was obese, actually, considering doctors. But I mean, there's heavier people out there in the world, right? So. And I give these people credit, man, because I see them in the gym now. And it's intimidating, folks, when you walk in the gym for the first time. Even now, me, 22 years later of putting in my grind at the gym, it's still intimidating. Like there's still dudes that are muscleheads that are just fucking bigger and more ripped and lifting more weights. And maybe they're sticking steroids in their butt. Who knows? But the point is, none of that shit matters. I go into the gym and I know what the fuck to do. I go in there with what I want to do that day, whatever body parts I want to do that day. I don't give a shit about what they're doing. I put my headphones on. I started getting back into listening to audiobooks when I'm working out now, to taking just more positive, you'd want to say, audio than just listening to music repeatedly.
Yeah. I can't do it, Travis, man. I tried to.
It's hard to do, man.
Audiobooks, man. It just gets really boring because I don't feel like I can, I don't feel pumped, and like that beat doesn't come where I can just go kill it, You're
absolutely right. There's definitely a negative to it. Like as far as the motivation and as far as the energy goes, no doubt music will always win. So if you want to if you really want to get a good workout in, folks, do not listen to audiobooks. Yeah. However, I was just challenged by my recent guest, Dr. Bakhtiar, is that, hey,
amazing.
Treat yourself on the weekends, he does. So he treats himself to music on the weekends. And then, because I always like New Music Friday, folks. Music now comes out on Friday. So I always binge those new songs. I just love hearing the new stuff that's hitting. So I'm trying to do the podcast or audiobooks during the week. It's kind of more, not as intense of a workout. You'd be surprised. You kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
But then, dude, when the weekend comes and I can listen to my new music, I'm really just jazzed. I'm like fucking excited. I'm like, yes, I'm going to go hit this gym. I got my new music in my ears. And I've only been doing it for about 3 weeks now. Because since I interviewed him. And the point is, at the end of the day, folks, is that you have to take those action steps and not leave any excuses. So if you want to go to the gym, you want to be more ripped, you want to have a business, you want to have a podcast, you aren't going to have a podcast until you record episode number 1.
Exactly.
You're not going to get to the gym or be looking good until you've gone to gym day number 1. And then guess what, folks? The hard part begins, because you got day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. episode, like you're doing episode 30 plus. We're in episode number 200 now over 5 years of recording, and you just can't give up. You just can't give up. You can't give up by seeing low numbers, because in the beginning of starting anything, it's going to be smaller unless you're got a huge influence already. Like Joe Rogan, he popped on the podcast scene. Well, he had already had a big, TV personality. Shit, so you can think if you have a big following, yeah, it's easier to grow your show right away, right? But for most of us out there, for most of us common day humans that are out there, we got to grind. And so you got to look at the analytics, say, how can I be better? Okay, cool. Like, not accept that this is the numbers forever, and know that you put in the work, shit grows. Your body will grow, your podcast will grow, your business grows, but it doesn't happen just reading or just, sitting there and taking in content. And I think that's, like you said, I think your message is very important for people, because it's all about the action. That's it.
Yeah.
What did you do today? What did you do? That's it.
Travis, so something you just said that hit me is a lot of the people that I meet nowadays are still just like, they cannot get over the numbers, man. Like, how does someone get, because I've done it. I did it a long time ago when I stopped giving a crap about the numbers, followers, people around me, everything, man. Like, I just had a light bulb moment. I just had a mind shift, paradigm shift, call it whatever. But I just had a moment when I was like, I do not care about any of the numbers or how many followers I have. I'm just going to go put out good stuff. Like, I'm going to be so good, and I'm going to be so consistent. I'm going to be like Gary Vee. I'm going to be in everyone's face constantly until I go viral, until I blow up.
Absolutely.
So how do you get over the numbers, man? Like, it's
hard. I mean, it's hard, dude. I mean, we live in a world of vanity. I would say that numbers mean nothing. So how many likes you have on a post means nothing. Someone's out there right now is a bigger influencer than I am, but I have a much bigger business than they do. I have a much more rich life. I'm doing exactly what I want to do with my life. I think we all control our lives. And so the key thing is, the best part about the podcast is no one knows the numbers but you. Just remember that. No one knows the numbers but you. Same thing with Instagram stories. So I love using stories because no one knows. No one knows. If you get 100, 500, 50, one person watching, you are the only person that knows. And actually, to be transparent with you, after working on lots of different campaigns, a lot of these social media platforms are considering removing how many likes people see on a post.
Oh, Instagram did it already, right? In some
yes, they have. Yes, they have. Yeah, they have. They haven't done it on all profiles, but they have intermittently are testing this with different profiles, business pages, et cetera. And Facebook's, they're the best at this. They don't test and do all the, the pages. They test with a few pages and they kind of see what happens. And then they will, if it works out, roll that out to everybody. And so I honestly imagine that in the future, you might be, as the business owner, the only person that can see how many likes you have.
I think so.
And I think it might be better for just people in general, because
mental health in general, right?
Mental health. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit, dude? The crazy thing now, folks, is that the influencer that was getting 1 million likes on Instagram is now getting 100,000. So their engagement has now been cut 90%. And I've heard this of a lot of times.
I was happy. I was like, yes, the fake stuff is going.
The fake stuff is going. And even if just in general, you have a huge following, just like when we had a huge following on Facebook and they started introducing ads, what happens is when they start introducing ads to the platform, they're going to reduce everyone's organic reach.
Yeah.
And so they're going to start with the top pages because they get the most organic reach. If you're Disney, they're going to make you pay to get the more following, to get the bigger engagement like you used to. Just like on Facebook. I mean, it's happened tons of times since I started my business 11 years ago, where it was like, oh shit, all of a sudden, they're changing the algorithm. The post we were getting XYZ amount of people reach, now it's less. And so you always have to think, first, this shit's all free. Yep. If you do a good job, there's never been a time in history where you can actually reach out to people, build a following, all for free, not having to jump on broadcast TV like I used to work, where you're spending $5,000 or $10,000 a month just to even have a blimp on the ad radar. Companies like McDonald's are spending 200 million, 500 million in a quarter, and so unless you're that size of business, it would have eliminated everybody. So now you have the chance. And the point is, like you said, none of this shit matters. Like, as far as the numbers and as far as the actual, what you get and how many engagements, None of that matters. All that matters is you focus on your content. Like you said, I'm going to focus on my content. I'm going to make sure it's freaking badass, and I'm going to be consistent. Not just, oh, I'm got fired up today. I'm going to do an awesome post today. And then tomorrow I forget about it. And then Friday I forget about it. And then Saturday, this shit doesn't stop. So you have to keep it going, and that is the most important. That's the critical factor. Content creators, those that are out there thinking about being a content creator, that means a podcaster, a YouTuber, a social media influencer, etc. Remember this, the average person gives up after 7 pieces of content. That's 7 YouTube videos, 7 podcasts, 7 blogs on your website, because they don't see the analytics.
Yep.
Because the numbers don't come in. And I can tell you guys right now, my podcast wasn't doing shit at episode 7. Like, it wasn't doing anything. And today, it ain't doing anything compared to Joe Rogan, but it's doing a whole lot more than it was doing back then.
Yeah.
And so, we get 1,000 downloads in a day. All of a sudden you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. You look back and you see these people are binging your past episodes, and when you start getting 1,000, downloads a day, you're talking 30, 40,000 possible people in a month listening to your show. And you haven't like done anything different. It's just that the show has grown because you maybe have put in the work. You now have a catalog. People love catalogs of, you come to someone's show and they have 200 episodes. There's something to listen to for everybody,
Yeah.
and so they can go back and listen to it. And that's another one of the most beautiful things about anything on digital now, is that as you build a following or a catalog or content, the binging is real. Like, people love to, go back. And so just remember, your episode number 7 is probably getting more numbers today than it was, back then, because people are finally listening, and so it is one of those things. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to know that this shit, none of the analytics matter. No. None of the actual engagements matter until they do matter. Meaning until the point when you put in the work and all of a sudden the show starts taking off. Like, that's when it matters. Is then like, okay, cool. We got 1,000. How can we get to 10,000? Okay. Well, in my case, it's bring on bigger guests. Like, shit, go after Mike Tyson, go after, bigger guests, go after anyone you can, because they're going to most likely bring you in some of their followers, And so that's all it is. I mean, literally in this day and age, you just have to focus on, like you've talked about yourself, is the content. You have to focus on putting out content consistently and never giving up.
Love it, man.
That's it. I don't know what to say, folks. That's literally
that's
literally
it though. What you said is the answer. It's like, you just got to do. You just got to do it. One thing that really excites me, forget about all the numbers and stuff. The one thing, especially about my podcast, that excites me the most, is and social media in general, it's just the countries that you get to impact people, man. Like, I'm sitting here in my bedroom, sitting on my bed right now, doing a podcast, which is going to go out in a few weeks. And someone in like Taiwan or Chad in Africa is listening to the podcast. I'm like, that's the most exciting thing for me in analytics, is which countries are people like listening and watching my content from.
So amazing.
Because one day I want to go to that country. Like that, I need to go there. I want to go see these people. I want to have an event there. I want to grow, man. Like, I want to impact people. For me, it's about helping people. It's about genuinely impacting them through something I'm doing for free. They consume for free, and we're creating for free.
So awesome,
it's like
it's a win-win. It's like there's I always say there's a limited research out there, man. There's limited great content out there. We don't have unlimited time. Exactly. So you got to pick and choose your battles. You can't listen to everybody's podcast. You can't do unlimited podcasts. You have to do what's right for your day, but get it done. Don't leave any excuses on the table, folks. If you want to be inspired to do a podcast, take my man's approach. Do a podcast. I had someone recently yesterday say, dude, I want to create a podcast network. Will you invest into this network? And I'll deliver. I'll make it into the #1 podcast network in the world. And I believe in the person. I love the person, but my first gut reaction is, dude, I bought this microphone for $100. That's it. That's my show, man. The backdrop is autographs I've collected over my whole life. These are just free things that I've had sitting in my autograph books.
Yep.
And I pulled up a freaking $25, $30 Logitech web camera, you pay $9 a month for Zoom, and you got a show, folks. You don't need to overthink this. You don't need to have a podcast network, official studio, $1,000 mics, because that shit ain't gonna work, dude.
Yep.
It ain't gonna work. You need to build the network first.
Yeah.
And then you keep investing. So if the B-Real show keeps growing, we might be getting a new mic this year. You never know. But I've kind of kept it simple. I'm like, dude, this shit's been working. It sounds too good. Why
I'm
keep
the same, man? Like I literally have a $25 one from Amazon, which is doing the job. It's better than almost all the guests because most guests don't have a microphone. So let's be honest. Like especially when you're doing it through Zoom, right? You can have good quality audio, but they're going to be using their headphones, so it sounds horrible because you're going to be listening to them more than yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not even comparable. Like there's just no excuse. So I when I'm going to come back to this person and tell them is, well, we got to build the network first. Like we've got to bootstrap this like you have, like I have with my show, like whatever your vision is to build the network, we got to do that first before we start buying, studios and we start putting out places. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Like that's freaking crazy to me. But that's how some people think. Yeah. They're building the cart. They're building the cart before the horse. They're building something before they even know if anyone wants it. And so I think so many people do this, especially in entrepreneurship, startups, just in life. We either whore out our time or our money, and then we don't actually even do anything with it. So it's like, God dang it, folks. If I told you in the beginning, get the check first, get the first podcast guest, get your first thing first on a $20 mic and keep doing it before you even get, a $500 mic and you haven't even interviewed someone yet. I mean, I hear this all the time. Yeah. I've had people in my own circles that are spending $5,000, $10,000 on a mastermind or a course, and they never do a damn thing with it. I'm like,
I know those people.
What in the F are you doing? Like, take the money and just invest it into real estate, or take the money and just put it into ads or stock market or whatever. You're at least going to get like some knowledge there. You don't learn when you don't have anything on the line. So yeah, it's easy to take in well, the truth is these people have blown $5,000 or $10,000, and a lot of times the funny thing is, these are people that can't afford $5,000 or $10,000, man. So, like, what in the hell are you doing? Like, okay, if you're a millionaire, if you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars of assets and liquid cash and a business kicking you cash,
go for it.
Do it, yes. And even still, me, and I can afford a $15,000, $20,000 mastermind. It wouldn't be something I'd just rush to do, but I could afford it. I could figure out a way to get the cash to pay for it, and maybe that changes my effing business. And I'm just delusional. But the point is this: if you're not in a situation where you can afford to just find the cash to do this, what are you doing? Take the money and put it into what they're selling you, whether that's a real estate, ads on Facebook, running a social media campaign. Take the money and put it into what they're ever selling you, because you will learn much more doing it that way than what they're teaching you, man. I mean, it's just, they're going to teach you this perfect formula that all things have to line up right. To make a flip, you hear all this stuff all the time. Oh, I bought this house for $100,000. I flipped it and made $70,000. Well, it's like, yeah, no shit. That sounds great. That sounds great, folks. But did you know this guy has family contractors that do the work for him on time? He's been working with these people for 10 years. They show up to every job. He never overpays. And the truth is, even in those masterminds, they're not going to tell you when they're making a mistake. Oh, guess what? I bought this thing for $100,000. I sold it for $70,000 and I lost $30,000. Are they going to put that in a mastermind? Hell no, but they've all done it, dude. I've seen it. And the real estate investors will tell you, I've made money on deals and I've lost money on deals. I mean, I know some guys in the 2008, 2009 range, they lost everything. They built up because they were scaling. They were thinking things are going. They're leveraging this deal for that deal. And next thing you know, one of my best buddies, Alejandro, he's made himself back, but he lost everything and lost millions of dollars in assets, because he just didn't have the cash to keep it going. Like when you start scaling too fast, all of a sudden, the market dries up and there's no people loaning you money and you don't got cash. What's going to happen? You're going to lose it. And so I think the biggest thing is people need to maybe just lose the money first and actually learn from that, then going and buying a course to teach you how to lose the money. It's like,
I think just to summarize it all, it's just basically in life, just keep things simple.
Oh yeah.
Just keep it simple. Like too many people overthink, especially in a world where there's too much going on and social media and news and media. There's so much going on, but if we can just be conscious and a bit more mindful of what we already have, and like we said earlier on, go back to gratitude for what we do have, and start focusing on what we want to really do in our life and what we love, then eventually the results will just come. As long as we just keep it simple, we take action, and we stay consistent.
Totally.
That's it.
My dad always said, "Don't make more than you spend."
Love it.
That simple. I mean, and the app is in every part of your life. You know, the two things we have on this earth are time and money.
Yep.
Time, the most critical. Money, second most critical, because you got to pay your bills. You got to, don't throw these things out the window, folks. If you can't, my big part of my biggest success was when I was starting my business, going through all this hardship, is then looking at myself in the mirror and saying, where are you effing up? Because my personal finance were screwed up, dude. I mean, I had to eventually short sell this house. I was in credit card debt. I ended up using every birthday gift and Christmas gift. And for the 2 or 3 years there, I took every bit of cash that I could possibly get my hands on, and I paid off payments on my credit card. Because folks, if you can't pay off your credit card, if you have a balance on your credit card, the interest alone is going to kill you. And so people are buying Nikes and they don't realize they're financing things for 20 years. They're never getting them paid off, And so there's no right or wrong answer, but I will say this: your personal finances will completely reflect your business, no matter what you do, and most importantly too, for those that people are out there, try to save a little cash. Try to, as much as you can, think about what your bills are and at least have 1, 2, 3 months of cash in a separate account, just sitting there. Because I'll tell you what happened for me. When I'm starting my business, I'm going through all this financial stuff, and I'm just like, holy shit, I knew I could get out of there. I knew there was a way out, but it feels like you're never getting out.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're drowning, like literally like, I'm going under, like I am going under. And so once I paid off my credit cards, so I didn't have that credit card debt, and I had started saving a little bit of cash where I knew that, like, one couple months I would be cool if I lost a client, if whatever happened. That gives you like a peace of mind like nothing on this earth. And about 60% of people living on this earth cannot pull out more than $400 to $1,000 extra, meaning extra outside of their bills. So if you had a concert you wanted to go to, or if a car, carburetor breaks down, it's putting you in a hell of a time. And guess what most people do? They pull out their credit card and go right back in debt. And then the cycle begins again, because then you're going to have not the money to pay for it. You're going to be paying the minimum balance. Oh shit, I need to pay a couple more things. Oh, I don't have the money. Oh, back on the credit card. And it's a cycle. I mean, it's a too much of a human cycle. It's so true. So the truth is this, folks. Try to get your own shit right. And for me, it was this. I was spending too much money going out to the clubs. I was spending too much money eating out. Not bad food, but just prep food, Chipotle, etc. I started learning how to meal prep. I always tell my wife all the time, we're eating our $2 meal preps tonight, or $3 meal prep, because a lot of times it's pretty good food. It's not the greatest. It's we try to eat somewhat healthy. But the point is, dude, it's $2. Dude, I got a salad right here, a spinach salad, man. Shit cost me like $1. A spinach salad with a little toppings on it. I'm eating that for lunch today, folks. Bottom line is this: that's saving me money. Yeah. Like, it's putting money in my pocket. And so that builds on to me not having to work as hard, be able to do podcasts, be able to do anything, because I'm not stressed about the daily money. And so don't forget this. It's on you. Like, it's on the person themselves. It's not on my spouse. It's not on my little daughter now. It's on me. And so you make those decisions. For me, it was those two. And the last was where I was spending my time. Was I was trying to be a music star, and that's a great thing. It's fun to do and everything, but I was putting way too much time and energy and not getting any return, not getting any reward. And I had to look myself in the mirror and say, dude, music's done, man. Like, you're not going to be in hip hop anymore, man. Like, you can keep making music, you keep, having fun with it, but the dream of being some hip hop star, bye. Say goodbye to it, and that's fine. Sometimes you have to say goodbye to your dreams, It was one of the best decisions I ever made, because guess what I started spending time on? My business.
Yeah.
I took all that time that wasn't making me shit, and I started talking to customers and getting more customers and working hard for them and building our team and getting things going here. And now we got, lots of different campaigns going constantly. 27 team members, been in business for 11 years. But it hasn't been easy, man. And it's never still easy. Shit, there's always new changes, and challenges. Now I'm a dad, so I got to figure out how to be a dad full time and also run my business full time, which is not easy. I'll tell you that right now.
I can imagine, man. That's
freaking not easy, bro.
At the same time, it's so inspiring for me anyway, for someone young like me to learn from someone like you that hasn't gone through that yet.
Right.
I think it's just good for me to learn from. This is why I love surrounding myself and doing these podcasts, because I get to just learn from people that are older than me. Most people are older than me, so
of course,
learn from more life experience, more real things that as a family man, as a businessman, and it's just for me. It's just I just soak in the knowledge. But as soon as I come off this podcast, I'll go have something to eat, and tomorrow's gonna start, and I'm already gonna take action on something that you said today.
That's amazing, bro. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what it is.
100%.
Taking these little tidbits, and not everything I'm going to say is going to impact your life, but there might be something. And then I
just tell people take one thing away. Like take one of the biggest things away, but do that one thing. Again, action. Do that one thing, right? Travis, we're coming up to the end of the show, but just before we end the show, I always do something called a final four. So it's going to be 4 questions that I'm going to ask you and you just answer on the top of your head.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. The first one I have specifically for you is, in one sentence, how would you say social media influences people?
Social media is a one-on-one communication that is done at scale. You can do it on your phone, folks. So it's the best thing on earth because you can do these things on your damn phone now.
I love that. So powerful. And you're right. Like social media people see it in a negative way, but I truly believe if it wasn't for social media, we wouldn't have met. The people listening wouldn't have found us. So social media is amazing. It's just the way that we use it, right?
And remember that social media is your email.
Yeah.
Email was the start of social media. Email, mygmail.com is my number 1 social network. Because that gives me all my money. That's where I'm meeting you. I mean, that's where everything's happening through there.
Love that.
Yes, I got IG, I got Twitter, I got the other ones, but...
That's powerful. That's the first time I heard that. I love that. That's super cool.
Oh, yeah. And that's research on that. There's a lot of research on that.
I love it. Love it, Travis. Okay, the second question I have for you is, what one video or movie or documentary have you seen in your journey so far that has made a positive influence or impact in your life?
Which documentary? I would say, just anything you guys can research about Kobe. I mean, we've talked about him today. There's a lot of people putting stuff out, but Kobe has changed my life as a dad, as a girl dad. It has completely changed my life. Meaning that when I'm thinking about something else and I'm thinking about my daughter always comes first. And whatever I need to do for her is always coming first. I think that there's a lot to learn from the work ethic and discipline that it takes, not only to compete on his level, but at the highest level in life, and the thing I think you always see about him that I love is that he puts in the extra reps. So, his teammates would be out shooting practice. They'd be going home back to the hotel. This dude would be shooting for 8 hours before even practice started. And so it's the work, man. Like we all are in control of that. Like I can guarantee you today, you guys start working on your podcast, you start working on your body, your business, and you do that work every day and leave no excuses. You're going to have something great.
100% agree, man. So true. It's all about work ethic. It's just about doing the actions, doing the reps, putting in the hard work to get the results long term.
And there's no fast lane.
No. There's no shortcut.
Even if you have the most talent, you don't get to greatness. You don't get to greatness without putting in the work.
Love it. I love it, Travis. Giving me goosebumps, man. Literally.
Yeah, boom, boom, baby. Let's get it.
Okay, so the third question for you is, now which one book, I know there's probably so many books, but which one would you recommend all the listeners have to go and read this book? It's going to change their life.
Oh my God. There's
top of your head, the first one, the most powerful one that's impacted you.
The most powerful one that has impacted me. Lately, right now, I'm just going to give the one I'm reading right now, which I think is fascinating. It's called Lifespan. David Sinclair talks about the fact that we might never have to die and that we might live forever. And very interesting stuff going into that, especially when you start thinking about your life, your lifestyle, the things you eat, etc. That you're young, dude. I'm 38. You're still 28? You're still super young. We're both young,
Yeah, we're both young.
The point is, folks, is that your life is probably going to be longer than you expected. And putting in the work daily on your body, your mind, the things that keep you happy, because I truly believe that people that retire, the reason why they say that when you retire, you die shortly after is because your mind goes. Like, you can only just be sitting and watching Netflix all day before you're like, okay, well, bye, And so that's when they talk about all the diseases and things that come in, and a lot of things with their synapses in your brain connecting. And I to be transparently, the lifespan book is a little above my head, and it might be a little bit above those, our listeners' heads, because it's from David Sinclair, who's like a Harvard, level, scientist about aging. And he's talking to you about stuff that's like, oh my God, like I'm not completely grasping everything, but it just gives you that kind of inspiration that just life is going to get interesting. It's very fascinating. And just to know, it's like knowledge is power. Know these things, know some of the supplements you can take in your life to maybe help you live longer. It's nothing wrong with that.
I love it. It's just basically about not, in a nutshell, it's just not worrying so much about life, right? It's just
not worrying.
In the moments, just being grateful, living in the moments, not stressing, not worrying so much and overthinking, because we all have our own unique journey, right? And we just have to enjoy the process, as I always tell people.
Absolutely. And the other one I would put on there is Indistractable. I know you asked for one, but Indistractable is the audiobook.
The guest always like, oh no, okay, this is the second one I want to add into this one, because there's so many. I know, there's so many. Indistractable. I
like this. Indistractable. What was that?
Who's the author for that one?
I'm going to pull it up right now real quick. Indistractable. It is...
It sounds like a really interesting book.
You know what it is, man, because it makes you realize like how often we're distracted. Indistractable.
Yeah,
it is written by...
It's one I definitely want to recommend my friend now, because like he's someone who gets distracted easily.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up the notes on my phone. Few details. It is written by Nir Eyal. Nireyal. Indistractable. It is a fascinating book, folks. It's amazing how much time we are distracted by different things. And he gives you some really good strategies and stuff to kind of working through strategies to working through your distraction, so that you can be indistractable. Like I told you guys about my power hour, no distractions come through there and I get the most done, just a fascinating one. I'm a huge fan of Audible because you could be doing something else and also listening.
Yeah, same here. Because I'm not good at reading, man. Like I'm super slow. I just fall asleep. Yeah. I'd rather listen to the book and I find it more interesting, or even better, I can just watch an interview of the book, or watch the summary of the book and understand, okay, this is what this book is about.
And like you said, every book or everything you read, it's only about getting that one or two or three thoughts. You don't have to really grasp everything in the book.
Yeah, so true. So true. Okay, so the last question, Travis, is the one that gets a bit deeper. So if you can spend a few hours of your time learning from someone's wisdom that you've always wanted to meet, whether they're dead or alive, who would that one person be and why?
Dude, I'm fascinated by Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
I know that's probably a cliche, but I'm so fascinated by the guy that built Amazon. And when you see his journey and you see how he did it, the true bootstrapper all along the way, you guys have probably seen that first original Amazon photo where he's like got a spray painted sign. And he's just really, the crazy thing about it is he served one good market and then it just expanded. I mean, dude, everyone's using Amazon. Obviously, a lot of people don't even know his main business is AWS, which is powering big businesses and basically they don't have to pay for servers anymore, and they can just pay him a flat fee. And that's a huge business, So, and I could see them honestly in the next few years. I see Amazon taking on shipping. I see Amazon taking on insurance and healthcare. And maybe being the people that provide a lot of those things, because guess why? They know what you buy. So they know who you are. They are the ultimate data machine. As far as if you're buying a bunch of ho-hos and ding dongs, they're going to tell you, hey, you know what? You probably got diabetes. I mean, if all your freaking thing is sugar and candy coming in or whatever, or, you're whatever the device is, they'll be able to kind of detect that. And I think they'll be probably an insurance company or partner with an insurance company. And you might be buying, through your Prime, you might be buying Amazon.com or Amazon insurance, health insurance, life insurance, car insurance, even because they have so much data on their users. But I think it's just fascinating because he's gone through a lot of challenges. He's not a very public person, so I think it'd be interesting to kind of get his insights. Yeah, there are some good interviews out there, but I don't think he's completely being candid. You know, I mean, shit, went through a divorce. He's got a new girlfriend. He's building $1 billion business, gave away, half of his riches to his wife, and hearing maybe some of his struggles, because how the hell does that guy wake up every day and just be great? Like, I mean, when you've got that big of business and you have also going through some struggles, he's going through a tougher time right now. It's not candy cane and roses. You know what I mean? I'm sure that there's some downsides to it all. And so it'd be kind of fascinating just to get his insight, see where the future's going, how he predicts it. And I think he's the best entrepreneur we have out there next to Elon Musk.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, some of his interviews I've watched, it's just the way he thinks. Like, he's just such a simple, humble guy, but it's just the way he thinks. He's like Elon Musk, right? It's just so beyond our kind of capacity to take on information. They're just crazy at the way they think. So big.
Unbelievable. He says he's Amazon is providing him the cash for his rocket company. So these guys are going to be the ones that change the world as far as...
They're taking us to Mars and Jupiter, man. They're taking us to other places around the world.
Yes. We'll have a base on the moon. There'll be people mining asteroids full of so many resources, bringing them back to Earth with abundance of resources and metals and hydrogen. And these are the people we have to thank, because they're taking their money and they're actually doing it now, unlike our governments, which have a hard time doing these kind of things, Yeah. Back in the day, the government used to just send a rocket up and then just throw it away.
Exactly.
And so now, and then, who knows where Bezos is going to go, but it sounds like he's going towards the moon. So he's going to build a base on the moon and they're going to go from there. It's fascinating. I think that,
and then Travis is going to be the biggest hip hop star on the moon.
Boom! What you need? Boom!
He's going to go. You can't. Maybe not in this Earth, but over there, man, you have a chance.
I'm making a comeback, baby. I'm making a comeback. I'm going to be 65 on the frickin' moon.
Going to be rocking,
showing them my bars, man. You better be watching out, folks. I'm going to have face tats. I'm going to be ready.
I can imagine. Oh gosh. Travis, man, this was such a fun episode. I'm super grateful for your time, man. Honestly, everything you shared, I've learned so much. I hope listeners have definitely learned so much. If anyone wants to reach out to you and find out more about your business, your agency, social media stuff, how they can help gain help for their business, what are the best platforms they can reach out to you on?
Absolutely. LinkedIn is one of my favorite, Travis Huff, or you look at me up at Tutalin on Twitter, Instagram, etc. I'd love to connect to you guys, as well as we actually have an offer for you guys. No credit card needed. It is literally just an offer to give back. It is realtimeoutsource.com/bereal. That's realtimeoutsource.com/bereal. And what we'll do is we'll actually give you a free audit. We'll actually track your brand. What the software does is it tracks anyone that's mentioning you, your brand. For instance, I could even put you in here on your podcast, and anyone that's talking about you, you'll get a report that shows you your influencers. And the cool part is what they're talking about. So they're talking about your podcast, but they're also talking about motivation, money, and et cetera. So it gives you content ideas. The point is, folks, we're just doing it to see if we can, give back more. We've seen a lot of fun things come from this, as far as the more you give, the more you kind of receive in life. And so I would love for you guys to take advantage of it. It is completely free. Go there, fill out the form, and we'll get right back to you, and we'll get you access to the software.
Love it, man. Guys, make sure you guys go. I'm doing it, Travis. I'm putting my stuff in.
Yeah.
You can check my stuff out, man. I don't know how good my stuff's going to come out, but let's see. Let's go for it.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's awesome. Every show that we've been on, we've been giving it back to them, and it's interesting. You always find a little tidbit. You know what I mean? There's always something that comes from it. Mm-hmm. And it's literally just basically tracking the people that are talking about you. And so, hey, why not know who these people are? And obviously maybe they could be advocates, for your show, as well as also you find out content ideas that maybe you didn't even know, that people correlate you to these other topics. And so it's just kind of fascinating. And it's just a great way for us to build relationships, I
love it. So guys, make sure you guys go and do that for Travis. And for me, I'm going to be doing it as well. But yeah, man, Travis, I'm super grateful to have your time, man. Thank you for everything that you're doing, for all your wisdom, for all this, everything, that all your hustle, your energy. Like, it's crazy, man. I love it. I'm someone with a lot of high energy, and this was one of my favorite episodes in terms of energy wise, because usually I'm a bit with some of the bigger guests, right? Sometimes you have to be a bit more kind of, you're still yourself, but you can't, because they speak more, you have to kind of keep your energy down. Whereas for you, this was super cool. Just bouncing
like a flow. We feel like an energy flow, baby. We're ready to take this and go, baby. Woo!
We're going to the moon, Travis.
We're going to the moon, baby. I'm going to be a rapper up there, okay?
100%.
Just be ready, folks. I'm making my comeback.
But yeah, honestly, thank you so much, man. And yeah, hopefully, if I can be of service to you in any way, please let me know as well, man. I'm happy to help out in anything that I can help you with. And yeah, I'm looking forward to keep in touch, bro.
Absolutely, my man. Absolutely. Thank you for everything you're doing. And I love that your show is all about action, folks, because you can take that action today and don't stop.
Love it. Thank you so much, man. Take care. Have an amazing day. And I will catch up with you soon, man.
You too, man. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
You too, bro.
Boom. Let's get this.
If you're still there, I just want to say a massive thank you for your attention and your time. It really means a lot to me. Please do me one favor and subscribe to this podcast, share it with your friends, and leave a rating on whichever platform you're listening to this. It would honestly mean the world to me. Thank you so much once again. I hope that this episode brought value and inspiration into your life, and I'll see you guys next week.